Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman29, doing a video reply to Glenn Reb, and he was most kind and posted a response asking me a question about my spiritual ideas and thoughts on Jesus and such things. And I believe I never published anything of the like about what I thought about it, because to me it's a very personal topic. And so he asked, so here we go. I left evangelicalism for the very reason that they retaliated so fiercely against scholarly pursuits. What I mean is, every time I researched and I discussed it, I was told over and over again that all that was frivolous, and there was about 100 verses that went with it, and it sickened me to my stomach, because I started studying anthropology and I realized that there are many things all over the place. And I might be talking in metaphoric terms here, and I don't expect you to understand what I'm saying. I made videos against you because I thought you were extreme, and up till I got the reply, I knew things may have changed in the relationship between us. So that's a good thing, and I'm glad that you're participating in the subject. And as the Tao would say, you have dimmed the bright and blunted the sharp. And many others have done this, including the Amazing Atheist and also Jesus Freak, and it helps them be more productive in the discussion of such things. For me personally, I cannot sit through a Sunday school class because I don't feel that I get anything out of it, and it's just all elementary talk to me, unfortunately. And I believe that if I were a part of a Protestant group, I would be taken by that theology, and I would be forcing that theology on literature, and that would influence the way I read it and interpreted it, and I would not have the freedom to think of ideas that may go against that type of theology and still be part of that group, which is a huge issue for scholars. I approach spirituality in a schizophrenic type approach. I read it as history, as any other mythology, and then I also can look at it in a spiritual way as quote-unquote truth. And literature does, in fact, tell me what spirituality is, and it's a roadmap. The metaphor is a roadmap that needs to be used and is not thought about enough when it is pushed into a box called theology, denomination. It cannot be free to be built upon and to be added to. So there's been plenty of things that would tell me, if I was not, I believe I am agnostic. Like I don't want to go as far as saying I'm atheist, because I love the literature way too much, and I love how religion works and the workings of the metaphors way too much to retaliate against it so fiercely. So let's look at this. People have seen God. He manifests himself many different ways. So here we have an interesting story in the Epic of Gilgamesh, who made it, and he's going to the Eden-like place, and Gilgamesh meets Utnapishtim, and here is this transfigured person who made it to the heavenly realms to be seated with the gods, and this tells me right here Then Gilgamesh said to Utnapishtim, the faraway, I look at you now, Utnapishtim, and your appearance is no different than mine. There is nothing strange in your features. I thought I should find you like a hero prepared for battle, but you lie here taking your ease on your back. Tell me truly, how was it that you came to enter the company of the gods, and to possess everlasting life? And Utnapishtim said to Gilgamesh, I will reveal to you a mystery, and I will tell to you a secret of the gods. And he proceeds to tell how he was spared from the flood. This drives back to Yahweh creating man in his own image, and we may be surprised if such a realm exists when we get there, that we are not saying the same thing that Gilgamesh is. Also, in the Bhagavad Gita, one of my favorite texts, after Krishna, on the battlefield of life, on the field of truth, reveals himself to Arjuna. Beautiful text. In a vision, I have seen what no man has seen before. I rejoice in exaltation, and yet my heart trembles with fear. Have mercy upon me, Lord of gods, refuge of the whole universe. Show me again thine own human form. I yearn to see thee again with thy crown and scepter and circle. Show thyself to me again in thine own four-armed form. Thou art of arms infinite form. All over the place, revealed. Beautiful. And you would not find that just anywheres if I sat on my duff in a Sunday school class, unfortunately. Another beautiful text out of the Hebrew literature. And Jacob called the name of the place Bethel, for I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life was preserved. And this is his struggle. And this is a struggle that we all go through with religion and beliefs and theologies and finding our way in life and answering the questions, what is our meaning in life? What are we doing here? And what is our place? What do we want to leave for society? And what awaits us later in death? And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. And when he saw that he did not overcome him, he touched the socket of his hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was dislocated as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, I am not letting go of you until you have blessed me. So he asked him, What is your name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Your name is no longer Jacob, but Israel, because you have striven with Elohim and men, and have overcome. You have striven with the gods and men, and have overcome. And Jacob asked him, saying, Please let me know your name. And he said, Why do you ask about my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the place Bethel, for I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved. And when we look in the literature, we are seeing Elohim face to face, and our lives are preserved. And just as literature from beautiful music, mercy there was great and grace was free, pardon there was multiplied to me. There my burdened soul found liberty at Calvary. Years I spent in vanity and pride, caring not my Lord was crucified, knowing not it was for me he died on Calvary. Beautiful hymns like that, and the way they touch you, literature touches me. And the thing is that in Buddhism, I learned that such things aren't not to be dwelled upon. What I mean is the feelings that are derived for those things should not be the end, but we should look past those things and keep searching, because sometimes we mistake the end of our fingertip for the actual moon. We mistake the Bible for actually heaven itself. I cannot deal with that. Religion, metaphors, and literature is my home. And I believe that it's within those texts that can carry me through the pathways of life like no other. So I apologize we we may not agree, but culturally, if you accept Protestantism will accept you, and it can be a beautiful thing. And same thing for any cultural religion and belief system. I fully know why people believe the way they do, and I can understand why they would believe that way, and I have no qualms about it as long as they're not hurting themselves or each other or the society around them. If it ends up being a negative aspect, then I have major issues with it. But as long as they're loving their neighbors as themselves and their gods with all their hearts, and if they can't love the gods with all their hearts, and if they're not able to do that, then at least they should be loving their neighbors at the very least. And one thing that I also find hope in, and it's a great text, it's Ezekiel 18. I preach a lot about this. Ezekiel 18:20. The being who sins shall die. The son shall not bear the crookedness of the father, nor the father bear the crookedness of the son. The righteousness of the righteous is upon himself, and the wrongness of the wrong is upon himself. Here, Yahweh is being very, very fair to everybody through Ezekiel's text. Beautifully written. Ezekiel seen a lot of issues with the exiles, placing blame on why they were in captivity to Babylon, and here everybody is responsible for his own transgressions. Just like when Moses on the mountain was responsible for his own transgressions. He wanted to be a sacrifice for Israel. Yahweh would not let him, because each man was responsible. So I see that. So even though I cannot bring myself to see all this stuff as being only Jesus is the way type ideas, I believe that such ideas can be built upon. One thing that I'm working on now is figuring out at what point did the religion of Jesus become about Jesus. And if I was an evangelical Christian, I would not be a very good Christian if I was asking those types of questions. It's not like an evangelical can run up to their pastor and say, hey, I'm in disbelief, bad topic. So outside, I can do all that stuff freely, and I have found great comfort in the literature and believe that personally it's the right track, because any problem that I have had, it's been met in the words, the most beautiful words across the religious literature spectrum. So take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking. And welcome to the conversation, Mr. Reb. Hopefully we can get along. Feel free to comment on my videos if you like them or not. I find them interesting, and I know the perspective, just like you and Third Proverb, coming from. And even though you two might not agree on a lot of things, I can know where such things come from. So take care, friends. Take care of yourself and each other.